When walking outside or in any outdoor space, I'm sure you've seen a mushroom around before. Whether it's a toadstool, a morel, or those fun puffballs that you can step on, I'm sure you've seen some sort of fungi before, even if you didn't realize it at the time. Well, did you know there's actually fungi underneath our feet? In fact, there's a whole wood wide web underneath our feet. Hello, my name is Chloe, and I am a senior at the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point, and I would like to go on a journey with you to discover mycorrhizal networks. Before we go too far, I think we need a bit of background first. When you are seeing a mushroom, such as a morel or a puffball, you are essentially seeing the fruit of the mushroom. The fun stuff is what happens underneath the ground. Mycorrhizae fungi are widely recognized to improve plant health by being able to access soil spaces and mineral nutrients that aren't typically accessible to roots. Mycorrhizae fungi are not typically host-specific, meaning they don't really care which type of plants they attach onto. In healthy forests, mycorrhizal networks are very helpful. Younger, shorter trees are at quite a disadvantage to the older, taller trees when it comes to getting nutrients and getting sunlight. Luckily, there's mycorrhizal networks that connect the trees to each other, so the older trees can give nutrients such as carbon, phosphorus, nitrogen, and other micronutrients to their younger counterparts. In turn, the mycorrhizal networks takes about 30% of the sugars that are produced by the trees via photosynthesis. The sugar fuels the fungi, which in turn collect phosphorus and other mineral nutrients into the mycelium. They transfer these onto the trees, which the trees can then use. Overall, trees and fungi have a relationship that is beneficial to both of them. Aside from nutrient transfer, the mycorrhizal network may be capable of more. Some scientists theorize that the mycorrhizal network can be a way for plants to communicate with each other. Studies have been done on Douglas fir, paper birch, such as this one right here, tomatoes, and ponderosa pine that have evidence pointing towards the fact that the mycorrhizal network can transfer hormones or sort of warning chemicals in between plants. On a study done with tomatoes, a harmful caterpillar was placed on one tomato plant, and the scientists found that the stress chemicals increased in surrounding healthy plants. This is likely because of the fungi that was connecting the plants together. Similar evidence was found when a tomato plant was exposed to a harmful fungi. This isn't just specific to tomatoes, though. When a harmful worm was put on a Douglas fir, the scientists found that the stress hormones in surrounding ponderosa pines increased as well. So it isn't specific just to a single species. Isn't that cool? So what does this mean, though? It's not like plants can defend themselves like an animal can when they're under attack. While that is true, plants do have certain ways of protecting themselves or even working as a team to help make sure everyone has a fighting chance. Certain plants have defensive chemicals that they release when they feel that they're in danger, and in instances like a drought or a lack of nutrients, the trees can transfer nutrients and water in between themselves to make sure everyone has a fighting chance. Now, I'm sure some of you may be thinking, this can't be true, right? Plants using fungi to transfer nutrients and communicate with each other? Well, I can't say I disagree. The reality is, mycorrhizal networks have been vastly understudied. The scientists studying mycorrhizal networks are dealing with really, really, really thin fungi that's very, very sensitive. If a scientist were to try and dig up some roots that had fungi connecting them, they would most likely destroy the fungi, making it impossible to study. In order to study mycorrhizal networks, scientists must recreate the situation in a lab. So they have to recreate the fungi using genetics and recreate the environment as close as they can to what it would be in the wild. Of course, though, a lab is not the outdoors. So there are many factors, such as cost, that limit the studies that are done with mycorrhizal networks. In addition to being very expensive and very hard to study, the studies that have been done with mycorrhizal networks have been done with very few plants. If this is to be accepted in the scientific world, there needs to be many more studies done on mycorrhizal networks, and the plants that they are studied with needs to be expanded. It's still cool, though, to think about a network of plants that we don't even see that are communicating and transferring nutrients between each other. If you learned something new about the wood wide web beneath our feet, comment down below. Thank you for watching.